Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Important questions. First question. What do you mean by bilateral symmetry? As the name suggests, bi means two. So, body can be divided into two equal halves if through only one vertical plane. That means they have paired organs as well as paired limbs. So, if you divide any, if you draw any one vertical plane, you can divide the body into two equal halves. That such a body is called bilateral symmetry. Next question, what is a notochord? Notochord is a dorsal cord that is present in the back, rod-like structure which supports the organisms. In some organisms, notochord is absent totally. In some organisms, it is present only in the early stages of development. But in vertebrates, what happens? This notochord changes into vertebral column. Okay. Next, what happens to notochord in vertebrates? In the vertebrates, this notochord transforms into vertebral column. So, I just told you, if you touch your back in the center, there is a hard thing, rod-like structure, that is vertebral column. Inside the vertebral column, there is a spinal cord. So, in vertebrate, in the organism vertebrates, it changes, notochord changes into vertebral column. Next question, to which phylum does the cockroach belong? Cockroach belongs to arthropod. Arthropoda. What are the three main characteristics? As the name suggests, I told you arthro means jointed, pod is from the legs. So, arthropoda means they have jointed legs. Next, they have an exoskeleton, that is their body is covered with a hard covering, skeleton is outside. And thirdly, you can write there, they have an open circulatory system. The blood does not flow in vessels, but it is open. Throughout the whole coelomic cavity is filled with the blood. You can write any other features which I just discussed with you. Next question, how do poriferans differ from coelenterate animals? So, difference between the phylum Porifera and Coelenterata. So, likewise, you can be asked upon to differentiate between any two phylum. For this, you need to remember the features of all the phylum along with the examples. So, I have just given this example. In Porifera, there is cellular level organization. In Coelenterata, there is tissue level organization. Poriferas, they have pores on the body, while Coelenterata, they do not have pores, there is only one single opening. Porifera, appendages are absent, but in Coelenterata, there are tentacles. There are projections from the body which help in the movement, like in Hydra. Next question, how do annelids differ from arthropods? Annelids, the legs are not jointed, but in arthropods, they have jointed legs. Annelids, they have closed circulatory system, arthropods have open circulatory system, blood does not flow in the vessels. Annelids, exoskeleton is absent, but in arthropods, exoskeleton is present. Exo means outside. So, there is a hard covering outside the body. Next question, will you place salamander and turtle in the same group? Give reason. No, we will not place salamander and turtle in the same group because they have certain different characteristic features. Salamander is an amphibian. First of all, their skin is slimy, it has mucus glands. On the other hand, turtle is a reptile, the skin is covered with, it is hard, it is tough. One more difference is salamanders, they can, although turtle can live on land and water, but salamanders, they reproduce by laying eggs in water. On the other hand, turtles, they lay eggs with a hard covering and they lay eggs on land. So, these are the two main differences, the exoskeleton, the skin, covering of the skin, and how the kind of eggs they lay. Next question, will you place Planaria and Ascaris in the same group? Give reason. The Planaria is Platyhelminthes, Ascaris is Nematoda. So, in Planaria, what happens? The body is dorso-ventrally flattened, while in Ascaris, the body is cylindrical. That is why they are placed into two different phylum. Next question, Explain how animals in vertebrata are classified into further subgroups. I just discussed the features of the 5 classes in detail. Pieces, they are all fish are actually pieces, bodies covered with scales and they breathe through gills. Amphibians, they can live on land as well as in water. They lay eggs in water, and the eggs do not have a hard covering, plus they breathe through either gills or moist skin, and on land they breathe through lungs. Reptiles, the body is covered with scales and they lay eggs with a hard covering. Aves, the forelimbs are modified into wings which help them to fly, and body is covered with feathers. Then mammals, they give birth to young ones. So mammals are different from other 4 classes in this manner that they give birth to young ones, and they have mammary glands which produces milk to nourish those young ones. So all those animals which give birth to young one fall under this category of mammals. And the skin, it has sweat glands, it has hair on their body. So these are how we can differentiate between various classes of vertebrates. Next, you can be asked to differentiate between any such 2 classes like amphibians and reptiles, which are quite similar to each other. The 2 main differences I just discussed is amphibians, they need both terrestrial and the water aquatic, they need both terrestrial and aquatic habitat to complete their life cycle, because for reproduction they lay eggs in water. On the other hand, reptiles, they live on land and they lay eggs with hard covering. They lay eggs on land only. In amphibians, the skin is slimy, but in reptiles, the skin is covered with hard scales. Next, differentiate between aves and mammals. In aves, all the birds, they belong to aves. So their body is covered with feathers, and moreover, the forelimbs are modified into wings for flight. While on the other hand, in case of mammals, they give birth to young ones, they do not lay eggs, the body is covered with hair and sweat glands, and they do not have wings, they cannot fly. Exception is bat. Alright. So likewise, you can be asked to differentiate between any 2 classes of the vertebrata. So if you remember the feature of all the 5 classes and with examples, you can easily differentiate between them. Next question, differentiate between a bony fish and cartilaginous fish. While doing the Pisces, I told you their skeleton is of 2 types, either bony or cartilaginous. So let's see what is the difference. First of all, in bony fish, the skeleton is made up of only bone, but in cartilaginous fish, the skeleton is made up of mainly cartilage, but some bones are also present. Then the mouth is terminal. I'll draw a rough diagram just to make you understand what is a terminal and what is a ventral mouth. If the fish is like this, all right. Not a very good diagram. So this mouth is terminal, all right. But if you see, there are some fishes, they have a ventral mouth like this. So this mouth is ventral. So this is one main difference between bony fish and cartilaginous fish. Mouth is ventral, terminal, mouth is ventral. This is a terminal mouth. This is a ventral mouth. Next, air bladder is present in mostly all the bony fishes, while this air bladder is absent in cartilaginous fishes. This difference, although it is not in syllabus of this chapter, but this topic will be taken up in your practicals. So it is an important question from practical point of view. So with this, I have completed this chapter. In this section, I took up the classification of the kingdom Animalia. I hope it's clear to you. Thank you.